and gals. I just wanted to get on here real quick and talk about the C25K app. I am sure you have heard of it in some way, shape, or form. I heard of it, I think, last year and just kind of skimmed right past it. But this year, especially with everything going on and not being able to do much, I've really been focusing on my health and my exercise a bit more. So I really want to get more cardio in instead of the typical strength workouts you find on YouTube or the HIIT cardio. I just want to do something a little bit more long distance. And running has never been my thing, so I wanted to give it one more shot. So I downloaded this app and I started it on June 1st of this year. And I'm coming into my last week, week 8. I'll start it tomorrow, and I'll finish hopefully this Friday as long as it doesn't rain outside because I normally run outside. And yeah, and I can really say that I'm not too concerned about this week. I've run for 27 minutes straight, so I think running for 30 minutes should be just fine. I will say if you are a beginner runner like I am, then you can definitely do this, and I think it's just a good way to get some cardio in. It's definitely scary at first, but you will be like me saying like 60 seconds. That 5 minute run in week 4 is nothing. Like I can now run 25 minutes without stopping. It's amazing. And it's amazing that it's just been 8 weeks, or almost 8 weeks. So I did just want to touch on just some challenges you might face, especially if you're running outside. I wasn't aware that for beginners, it's probably the best not to run on hills, but I didn't really read that until week 6. My neighborhood is really hilly. It's small, but it has a lot of hills. And so that's been a challenge, just trying to breathe and make it up the hill and last. And I actually started running at the park thinking for a change of scenery and thinking it would be flat, but it wasn't. The hills were steeper and longer, but I have successfully made it up the hill, and I'm kind of excited to see if running on flats would, make me pick up my pace a bit more. So I'm definitely excited to see that. But that's something to watch out for if you're running outside. And also if you're running slower, definitely be careful with your feet and make sure you're picking up your feet, because I've caught the side of a piece of the road that was raised a bit and I fell, hurt my knee and my hands. I was fine, but it was kind of embarrassing. So you just want to be careful for things like that. And also if you're not a people person like I am, just know that there's other people outside and sometimes they want to wave. So, just keep that in mind if you're not into that. And also just kind of in your neighborhood, there's not structure like at the park, like people are running on this side, walking on that side. So you just have to be mindful, kind of look ahead if you need to move out of the way while these people are coming, so that you don't fall like I've done, not moving out of the way of people, but just trying to get yourself coordinated. So, and then also the big thing is just slowing your pace. If you feel like you're having trouble breathing, or you feel like you just can't finish the run because your legs are tired or for whatever reason, definitely slow your pace down. I had 2 fails where I had to stop. I couldn't finish towards the end because I just could not breathe. And I figured, like, how much slower can I jog? And a lot of people say that your slow jog is slower than your speed walk, and I think that's true in some cases, but as long as you're doing like the movement, the bouncing, moving your arms, and that, I think that counts. And so I slowed down my pace quite a bit, and that helped me a lot to get through those 2 weeks, 2 days that I failed. So now I feel a lot more confident running up hills and just running for a longer time. And then obviously the benefits, which I mentioned a bit earlier, is just being able to run when you couldn't, being able even to run a little faster. Before, it took me maybe 16 15 minutes to run a mile, and now it takes maybe about 11 minutes. So on that note, I will say that I probably won't be able to run the 5K in 30 minutes, but that's fine because I barely was able to run for 5 minutes. So I'm pretty sure I'll be able to run the 5K in 33 to 35 minutes, and that's totally fine with me. I'm just so excited that I can run for that long without stopping. Like, that's a big deal for someone who doesn't usually run. So, and then also, if you're trying to lose weight, I do think this is a good thing to start implementing in your workout schedule. I do feel like I've gotten leaner, and I've been doing other workouts like the strength training and the HIIT cardio. And I think that's been helping too, but I think this helps a lot with, burning those calories, burning fat, getting your metabolism up. I'm not a fitness guru, so don't listen to me, but I mean, they do say walking and jogging are good cardio workouts. So I totally recommend this app. I think it's a really good thing to start doing, especially if you work from home or if you're home more. Just take advantage of that time that you have, if you do have time. And again, it's only, it starts off at, I think, 20 minutes, and then the longest is 40 minutes, and that includes the 5-minute warm up and 5-minute cool down. So definitely, give it a try if you can. The next up, I will just show a screen recording of the app, so you just see the layout. It's very simple. For the shorter runs, I was using Spotify in the background. There is like a music app or a way you can play music in there, but I'm not really sure how, so I would just have Spotify on as well. Playing music for the longer runs, I started listening to podcasts because I found myself counting the songs. So if you find yourself doing that, then a podcast might be better. And I usually listen to like a funny podcast to get my mind off of it. So definitely recommend that. Or if you like to run, just listening to nature, that's pretty cool. You can do that as well. Whatever can keep you going. So definitely recommend. Next, I will show a screen recording of the app. And I did just want to show also the day that I the day that I failed to run the whole thing, and then the next day slowing down my pace and just showing like how my actual pace didn't change as far as the Fitbit, and I do think that's pretty accurate. So don't be too concerned about slowing down if you're really concerned about your pace, and that's something you can work on as time progresses. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the screen recording of the app. Thanks, y'all. So the C25K app, obviously you can download it from the App Store, and it is called C25K. Simple enough. And so when you open it up, it gives you all the weeks. And obviously if you're first starting, it will start on week 1, day 1, and it goes all the way to week 8, day 3. And when you finish, it does have the option where if you just want to run the 5K consistently, you can just use this one right here. And obviously there are people who want to run longer, so they do have another app, I believe, or I guess you can start in this one. I'm not really sure. I haven't thought that far. But anywho, week 1, day 1, you start off, and it's compared to the later weeks, it seems pretty simple, especially looking back on it. But I know when I first started trying to run for 60 seconds and only having a 90-second break, and I think you do that 8 times during the one day, it was a challenge. I can't lie. And I will say, obviously, as each week progresses, the time that you're jogging goes up. And I'm trying to see, I've stopped, or I guess you can say I failed a run twice. And I believe it's when it started adding the 5 minutes in, so it might have been week 4. And 5 minutes doesn't seem like that long of a time, but for me, when you're going 60 seconds, which isn't that long, you tend to run faster. And so it was week 4 when I realized I need to slow down my pace or I'm not going to be able to run for 5 minutes. So that's when I slowed down my pace quite a bit. Because I think it was week 4 that I didn't finish and then I took a break. Yeah, so from week 3 to day 3, I took about a week break. As you can see, it says completed on after every time you finish. And so I definitely took a break. I think it was that time of the month, so I just wasn't really feeling it, and I was discouraged because I stopped. And I kept going. I just couldn't make that last 5-minute jog. I think I lasted for like maybe 4 minutes or 3 minutes. But I came back, slowed down after reading the forums and was able to conquer it. The second time I wasn't able to complete the full run was week 7, day 1. And obviously 25 minutes is quite a jump from 60 seconds and 5 minutes. But this app, you will be surprised what you can do. But this is the first time that the second time that I failed to finish it. And so when I say failed, I wasn't able to run the full 25 minutes. I think I stopped at like 22 minutes, which the week before, the last one was 22 minutes. So I struggled a lot running up the hills, which I mentioned earlier. But week 7, day 2, and week 7, day 3, I finished. Again, looking at the different forums out there on this app, Reddit, there's a lot of websites that have it. I was able to get back on track. I just really had to slow down my pace to be able to finish. And for some people, I think being quicker is more important. But for me, I really wanted to just last, especially for someone who doesn't run very often. And of course, also, as I mentioned, this app is geared toward getting you to run a 5K in 30 minutes, so 10 minutes per mile. I obviously take longer than that. But yeah, this is kind of the layout. And so Monday, tomorrow, I will be doing the last week. I'm really excited that it is the last week. I still have to figure out what I'm going to be doing afterwards, if I'm just going to keep this up consistently and run 3 miles every time, because I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to finish this week with no issues now that I know to slow my pace. But yeah, so this is the layout. It's pretty simple, and I usually just start it, and I don't really want to mess up my dates, but if I start it,
begin your warm-up now.
I start it and it'll say, your warm up, and then I'll skip, and then
begin running,
and then by the end of this, it will say it'll say you are halfway there, and I love that part. I get like a boost of energy after the halfway point, and then they'll tell you you have 1 minute left, and then
begin your cool down.
And then usually I just lock it like this, so that, because before when I didn't have it unlocked, I would accidentally, hit this, and so I would be confused, running, and I would end up running more than I needed to. So I would just hold this, and I have my music on in the background, and this would just be in my fanny pack while I'm running. So I usually don't. The longer runs, I never really looked at it, but on the shorter runs, I was holding it and like looking at my phone, like, how much time do I have left? But yeah. So yeah, this is the app, how it is. Very simple. I definitely I think there's other ones out there, but I think this one might be the most popular. So I definitely suggest using this one. It really builds you up, and you'll see like the jumps per week, but again, you'll be surprised what you can do. And I think the key is just slow down and, worry about your pace, as it comes. So yeah, this is the C25K app.